a red out day.
That's right. The uniform. We got the.
I haven't worn red
there.
in 3 weeks, and sure enough,
Yeah,
that's how it works.
matching bros here.
Yeah.
Matching Matties.
We're back. I've been out for a couple of weeks at SEMA, and the week before I was doing something. I forget what it was. But there's something going on that a couple weeks ago that I missed the podcast as well.
Well, you were doing something at the house because you were down at the house for some
What the
reason.
heck were we doing? Oh, we were doing the Sequoia with
that's
the
right.
armor detail guys with Jeff and Bradley. So I missed the podcast the last 2 weeks. But hopefully I provided you all kinds of stuff on this channel. So you got the behind the scenes at SEMA. And
Yeah,
then
the SEMA videos did really well.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Right?
Yeah. We're going to hit 10,000 subscribers in the next couple of weeks. That'll be cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get to 100 someday again. It's like that new chase again, to get to 100.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it my way, slow, grind it out, and who cares? And I don't give a crap. But that channel's going to make like $1,500 this month.
Yeah.
It's like, that's crazy. Yeah. So it's fun. It's like reinvigorating. It's a big channel. You get
It's fancy. The big channel's fancy now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. We're back on the podcast. Got a lot of stuff to update you on.
Maybe talk about armor detail and the new coating and how you're thinking about that. I think that'd be good for everybody.
One of the reasons why I wanted the guys to come up is I was interested in, Bradley and I think a lot alike. We have a lot of the same taste when it comes to, products and performance. And, I love the wheel coating, and, I feel like Armor was the first one to actually go all in and get us like a wheel coating that we're looking for. We want good hydrophobics. We want it to last a long time. We want it to be temperature resistant, so you can do, the calipers and rotor hats and stuff like that. And for me, it's hard to just test out coatings.
Right.
Because every car I get, I'm like, this isn't the tester car. And they're like, no, this isn't the tester car. And I don't dislike what I'm currently using. I really like it. But the limestone, whatever going on with whatever's going on in Middleton that's nuking my coatings, that car sitting outside, that's forcing me to think a little differently. Now, I don't know if Armor's or anybody's coating is going to hold up to that. Probably won't if I neglect it. And so, I've always railed against the whole pro-only coating bullcrap. And they have Armor Pro, which would be a similar in how it performs to a Crystal Serum Ultra, which of course we can't buy. Now I can get as much as I want.
Yeah, but we can't sell it to
but then I can't provide you. Yeah, I can't provide you the value. And so, can I find a CSU like coating, and that I can offer to everybody?
Right.
And then do my thing, and hopefully the value prop is show you how to use it and not use it, and do it right and wrong, and just pick something. And so I wanted the guys to come up, and so we put Pro coating. It's a little more complicated to install than your traditional consumer coating. But
do you just have to work faster and in smaller spaces?
little smaller section, a little faster, and you just want to really make sure you're wiping it off. And so the wipe off, you just want to be very cognizant of that. And that's why he calls it a pro coating, because it's not difficult to do, but it requires some to pay attention. First, you got to know how to do it, and then you got to pay attention. The know how to do it is easy; just read the instructions.
Sure. And
then you just got to pay attention to it. And so, to me, Crystal Serum Light and XO is my everyday $45 or whatever, $50, I guess $100 coating combination.
Right.
And then the Armor Detail Supply Pro topped with Phobic is your $300 coating solution, your pro coating, if you will, your longer lasting, but it has similar characteristics, and it looks similar to me. It feels as slick to me, and that's what I was looking for. And so we're bringing it into the store. We're going to have an OG co-branded version of it. It's going to be pretty cool. And we were talking about bringing a 30 mil of Phobic, because right now you can only buy the 50. And
it's a spray. It's got like a
can be,
spray
yeah. You can use it either as a spray or as a
just unscrew
dropper.
Yep.
And so those are the two products. And then he and I are kind of working on the potential for a new decon soap. And while we were jerking around with the decon soap, we figured, well, maybe we should jerk around with the regular soap, and see if we can, if I can find something I really like there. And I don't know, we'll see. I mean, I'm going to use it and try it and get them to adjust it. And, the key for me is it has to like resonate.
Right.
I have to feel it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to explain it. And I'm learning that I can't explain it. And I'm learning that the average Joe will never understand it, even if I could. So I'm just not going to explain it. I'm just going to say, here's the thing, and here's why, and here's what I'm choosing. Yeah. I don't need to test a lot of things because I frickin' know. And I can't articulate that to you. And if you're a regular Joe, you can't understand. And so I'm going to stop explaining it.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of what you pick is to your taste, right? And
it has to be right.
And so a lot of that is what's built into what you're selecting,
right? And some of that taste requires testing and data, and some of it doesn't. Yeah. Some of it's gut, some of it's feel, some of it's, I've said this a million times, when you're in wealth management or you are managing your own money, somebody has to decide what the money's going to go in.
Right.
Does it stay in cash? Does it go into XYZ mutual fund? Does it go into low-cost ETFs? Where do you put it? Mm-hmm. But ultimately, somebody has to make the decision. It's all right and all wrong.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so you have to make the decision. And most people aren't, they don't have the, the experience to make the decision. I mean, I've been spending, 30 years on this earth looking for cool stuff. Mm-hmm. And probably even longer than that, probably more like, 35 years on this earth, always looking for cool stuff. And so there's some, like natural taste that comes from that experience. There's always based on some opinion, but that opinion has a lot of experience behind it.
Right.
And I can't explain that to you because you haven't walked the walk. And so when I hear people, give me a hard time about, well, why don't you try this or that? I said, well, I just know. And I'm probably like 90% right. And there's 10% wrong, but I can't do everything, can't try everything. And so I don't want to try everything.
Right.
And so I go with that barometer. And then when I do try it, I need to confirm it. And then there's generally some sort of justification or quantification of why. Mm-hmm. And usually it's a summation of a lot of different things. Like, I like Bradley and DJ. I like the look of their brand. I like where they're headed in life.
Sure.
And then I like the product. So there's a lot that goes into that. I like the G-Technic folks, and I'm interested in the branding resonates with me. I don't like the IGL goofballs, and it's just, it's like repellent, but their IGL is attractive to other people.
Right.
And those people are generally like oil and water with somebody like me.
It's like someone likes to buy a Lamborghini, somebody likes to buy a Porsche, right? They're different people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are there any other products in the Armor line that you're looking at or have interest in?
I don't think so.
No.
So
not at this
they'll
point.
keep trying. Yeah, we'll keep trying.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what's cool about people that are confident in what they're doing. Like, Jeff and Bradley are there, and I'm like, I don't like that.
Right.
They don't care.
Sure.
And then he's like, well, I like it this way. I said, well, that's what's cool, and being able to, and I've sort of developed those relationships over the years to sort of have that agreement up front.
Right.
Like, you want me to do this.
It's not personal.
Right. No.
It's just
so although people get to see that sort of that straight to the pointness.
Sure.
And they just can't fathom how anyone would like that.
Right.
But if you make products and you're confident in your product, and you kind of invite that, especially if I choose one, but I don't choose the other, then it's valid. I think it may be more or less valid, but to me it's more valid because we're not just shilling here.
Right.
We're not selling out. It's like, well, I don't like that.
Right.
Oh, Matt, and then they just know, like, the rag company guys, like, Matt's doing Matt, but that's the thing. That's the authenticity thing. And if I did it differently, it wouldn't work.
So let's talk about since we're talking about new products, SEMA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Videos did really well. I think you did a nice job.
By
yourself on the iPhone.
Yeah, and
so
it's cool.
SEMA Lite this year, right?
Yeah, it's cool because I this year at SEMA was very different for me in that I didn't do I didn't have this we got to touch every spot.
Right.
I got to go to every booth. And so the last 2 years, Tommy and I touched every spot, and we didn't find anything different out of the main spots that we really belong. And so this year I went by myself. Tommy's working on the engineering stuff, and I didn't need him this year to carry the backpack, if you will. I left my heavy, giant digital SLR at home, and my elbows thanked me for it. And I just used my iPhone and shot, what I encountered, and interviewed a bunch of different, brands and people, and found some different things. But I found myself this year, I changed up my strategy. In the past, I would do the West and North halls last, because I get hung up there.
Right.
I get interested, and then I see people, and see friends, and see relationships you developed over the years, and so it takes a lot more time. This year I went right to West, where all the detailing stuff is, and it took me all day to get through there. And then I went over to North, and talked to the AR guys, and talked to the people in North Hall, and then I went through Central real quickly. There's not really anything there for me. That's the thing that's really lightened up on SEMA, is all the really cool stuff is not really there.
The big Ford display and the Toyota display.
And so Toyota's
the
there.
Big manufacturers were there.
Yeah, but
and then they had, for a while, the tech guys were there, like Microsoft and...
Yeah, but there was a lot of like all of the cool brands. There was more like cool stuff to discover.
Right.
And in the beginning, it's like sometimes it's the first time seeing, like aftermarket carbon ceramics at the Brembo booth. But now that to me is like a hobby.
Right.
And I don't have time for that when I'm there. And it's not really the hobby. If I'm hobbying, then I want to buy stuff.
Yeah. You want to go to the baseball card show.
And I kind of already know what I want, and so I'm not going to find anything specific,
right,
to buy over in Central. But then in West and South with tools and stuff, this is stuff that I'm trying to buy. I want to buy, and then I want to sell. And so I spent all my time in West Hall and a little bit of North on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, North, and so South, and then finished up North. So South took half the day getting through all the tools and stuff, and Mirka and all that.
Yep.
And then spent the last day primarily back over in West Hall getting the rest of the interviews. I'd missed a couple of things in South Hall and tool area that I didn't turn the darn microphone on, so I went back through South again, and then so I only did 3 days, and I basically spent the whole time in those three main sections. I walked through Central, I walked through the outdoors. I didn't go through the bottom part of South at all. I didn't even enter it, which felt.
Is that where wheels and tires are?
Wheels, Chinese tires, yeah. But the wheels are not cool wheels. It's all goofy wheels. Yeah. It's like wheels you never heard of. Like, how are these companies? How do they even exist? And how do they afford for this booth? And I didn't do I didn't do a lot outside. It was a different year, and so I spent all my time talking to like Eric at MaxFlow, talking to Kyle and Ron and Tom at AR. I spent a lot of time at the AR booth, and Jamie at Mosmatic, and spent a lot of time in the detailing areas. Spent some time in the Naziol booth, booths that were interesting to me.
Right.
And then spent some time with Nick from DIY and Pan, and then the Ride Company boys, hung out there a lot. And so I actually went out to, they had a like a hibachi get together on Thursday night. I actually went to that, and then Friday went home. So, and I got sick 9 out of 9.
Yeah.
And I think this is my 9th year sick 100% of the time afterwards.
Brought the crud home.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw a bunch of stuff. You came over with some cards. We got some new products we're going to probably launch.
So what do we have?
But let's talk about what was the most memorable product, or what sticks out in your mind as being the best thing, new thing you saw?
Well, this AR635 wasn't new to me, but I wanted to sort of put the deal together with the guys to say, hey, let me do this. Let me do my thing with this pressure water. Let this be ours. Because I had just tested it the Friday before I left. And so then they had one there. So I have one, they have one. It was the only two that exist.
Right.
And so I wanted to spend a lot of time, on that. But I'd already known that was there.
Yeah.
The garage tile is the thing that resonated with me the most. It's just a different type of tile. I'm sure you could find tile like that at a regular tile place, but you never know.
Right.
Like this, we know this is made for dealerships, made for cars, and so I'm kind of excited about that. That carton sprayer is pretty sick from Korea. It's pretty cool.
Right.
And we're working on seeing if we can bring that here to the U.S. because he doesn't have a distributor.
Yep.
What else did I find? At Naziol, so Jeremy Harding reached out. I've got to put a list together what I'd like to try out from Naziol.
Anything on the tool side? Anything new there?
Not really.
I know you spent a bunch of time with the torque wrench.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't. The torque wrench is
even
better than I thought.
You just had some learning, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that you never want to break anything with your torque wrench. You don't use it as a breaker bar. So you always get the breaker bar out and then the torque wrench. And they showed me, the way that this works is once it clicks, then you're using the bar. You're not using the spring, and so you're not damaging or affecting the accuracy of it at all. So I like it even more, and so we're going to have those up in the store. They're crazy expensive, but it's one of those, once in a lifetime purchases. You get it and keep it forever. Have it, calibrated once every 5 or 6 years, and you'd be good. But yeah, it was good. It was a good experience. It was a different experience for me. This may be the last time I stay at Westgate. I think. Well, no, I didn't realize that the Fontainebleau, which is not a casino, is right outside the front door of Westgate. And so, not Westgate, West Hall.
Right.
And Westgate is on the total opposite side, and I spend most of my time in West Hall anyway, and I'd love to stay in a better hotel.
Right.
So, but to me, I'm getting up at 5 a.m. I stay on East Coast time. I go to the gym, so I go to CrossFit every single day, and then I largely fast as much as I can throughout the day, and then just eat a steak, and then I had let's see, I had dinner.
Yeah, there's some good steaks in Vegas for sure.
Yeah, but I didn't have any.
You didn't go.
Ones.
You just went to the hotel restaurant.
I went. Yeah, well, I went to the Wynn, the Stephen W. SW Steakhouse with Mantis and C-Tech cabinets, and I hung out with them. And then I went to Edge Steakhouse with Bob from Chemex and his wife.
Oh, yeah.
I took them to dinner. Actually, I guess technically they took me to dinner. And then on Thursday, Bradley, Jeff, and Ryan from Fine Detailing, we all went to Edge Steakhouse. So actually, I only bought one dinner, which was good.
There you go.
so Michelle bought my dinner from Tool Grid on Tuesday. Bob, they stole the check from me on Wednesday, and then I bought everybody dinner on Thursday.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then came home Friday. Got home about midnight. 1 o'clock after, I got a bunch of delays.
Right.
I've had a really good run in that my flight was delayed on landings. They flew around the airport for a while, and it was I had like a 45-minute, an hour window. Luckily, then my next flight was delayed.
Yeah.
So otherwise, I was screwed.
Okay. Yeah, and
I was stuck in Houston.
It's weird. There's really no direct flights from here to Vegas. They don't. Disney.
Just Southwest.
Disney and Vegas don't connect very well.
Just Southwest.
Strange.
I'm not doing it.
So we'll get a question that's related. So Neil says, Matt, the new Griot's brush system looks great. Do you think you'll be able to sell them on OG website in the near future?
Yeah, I have to decide if that's something I'd want to do. It's an interesting idea. It's a different take on how to do it. It does attract me more than the typical brush just because of the whole system.
The system, yeah. You're a sucker for a system.
Yeah, but I mean, I would buy a one handle for every brush.
Right.
But the idea is you only have to have one handle.
Yeah, I didn't get the whole switching, having one handle.
The concept was the reusability of it, right? So you reuse the handle.
I understand if you wear it out, you could reuse it.
But the main reason for the handle was you can put extensions on it, so you can do it longer.
Those long ones were pretty cool.
Yeah, I like what they did with they made a better version of the Easy Detail. They made a and I generally don't like that when you steal IP, but Easy Detail hasn't improved, and if we're 2 decades in, it's are you gonna make it any better, or are you just gonna leave it alone? Are you gonna fix some of the problems or no? And so and then their take on a flat brush was pretty cool. So I think. I got to get it. I love the idea because I have capacity in my drawers of put in my drawer and you tool grid it. And just even though I'm probably not going to use a brush very much,
but you could have that display in your drawer. You'd be happy.
I
right?
like that.
Yeah. All right. So Wes says, Matt, would you say the here? I'll put it up. I forgot to show last one. Matt, would you say the AR-635 will be priced somewhere between $1,100 and $1,300?
No.
I think it's be a little more than that.
Yep.
So.
We're going to have 3 versions. That's what we're working on. So we're going to have the 635 with the brass head, and as you saw it, as you see it, I have in my garage,
Right.
Just like the 630. So the base version, and they all do roughly 3 1/4 gallons a minute. And so I'll have the base version. I think it's going to be $14.95 for that. And then we're going to do the hot version with the nickel plating, right? And that one will probably be, $150, $200 more. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to do the FU version, the Matt Mormon Signature Edition, and I don't know what that's going to. Could be $3,800. I don't know. Could be $2,000. Not sure. But it's going to have a carbon fiber surround. It's going to have all stainless steel bolts, like T316 bolts. I want to do a polished stainless head, and then an anodized. Everything else I want to be anodized, and I want it to look like a piece of jewelry.
It's going to be art.
Wall. Yeah. So we're going to make that as well. We're talking to them on Monday, and we're going to nail down pricing and all that stuff. I mean, what is the what's the 1322? How much is that? Isn't it
like
almost
$1,200? Yeah, around $1,200.
I thought it was more than that. And this is like 1.5 times better than the darn 1322.
Yeah.
And so for be a couple $100 more, it's worth every freaking penny.
Right.
I thought that 1322 was 13 something.
Let's see here.
Or am I thinking the terrible search engine?
My browser, for whatever reason, will not refresh to pressure washers.
Uh-oh.
I got to do it on Chrome. Yeah, it's $1,200.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. Maybe it's the 1622 that's more.
Yeah, those are more.
Because that comes with the hose and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I mean the AR, the hot water AR is a little bit less than the Krenzla.
Yeah.
And I think we haven't seen. I mean, I think Krenzla is going to go up because we haven't really seen the true tariff out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Yeah, because the AR has a tariff in it. They want $1,000 for the current one, but it's very clearly going to be the standard.
Right.
You got to have a clean 20 amp, but you got to have a clean 20 amp for a 630.
Right.
So you might as well get a clean 20 amp for a 635 if you can swing the extra couple $100.
Yeah, if you're already investing in it.
Yep. And you would never. I mean, it eliminates the need to do a dual.
Yeah. So Gene says, what OG stuff to buy this weekend? I think he means next weekend. We did preview some of the Black Friday stuff starting today, so definitely have Black Friday coming.
Yeah, so our plan
We're
this
opening
year,
a little earlier than we
hate it, but it's probably the right thing to do.
Twisting your arm a little bit.
It's like, where do you draw? Why don't we just start Black Friday in March? It's like, when do you all this goofiness? Just to try to or not try, but to do it to where we can ship it out faster.
Yeah, we're spreading out the load a little bit.
So Inside the Hex, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah,
we're opening up for Inside the Hex and get their orders in. That's next Friday, so the Friday before Black Friday.
Right. Yep.
Which is stupid, but we're gonna do it anyway. And so that way, when they Friday they can be shipping.
Correct.
And then Monday, Tuesday, shipping crazy.
Right.
We're gonna open up to everybody on Monday night, Tuesday morning at Tuesday at midnight.
Right.
So Monday at midnight, however you want to look at it. And so that way they can come in, our staff can come in and ship on Tuesday. They're off Wednesday, Thursday.
Right.
And then come in, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
right.
In perpetuity. We generally do, because we, the team gets, beat up. We generally do a short day on that Sunday, and then come in and hit it, that hard, that Cyber Monday. So
right.
I think what this may mean is we may be caught up by the end of the, by that Friday after Cyber Monday. So like a week after Black Friday. Traditionally, we would be caught up, 10, 11, 12 days later, minus back orders and stuff.
Yep.
But I'm going to encourage all of you when you're buying, help me out here. Do the we have to like just in time buy a lot of stuff, so we're going to be doing a lot of reserve your spots.
Yeah.
If we know that it's going to be like 6 months before we can get something, we're going to try to make sure that you can't buy that.
Yeah, we want to reserve your spot will be for things we know we have coming.
Right, that we'll have coming in short order.
And we've been chasing stuff too, so there's some things that we would love to have in stock, but we don't, and they might come a week later or 2 weeks later. We'll ship them out at the Black Friday price. So let's see here. So ADS, you sold or still on the fence? How's the Sequoia? So we kind of talked about that. We kind of covered that.
Yeah, that's great. I'm sold on it.
And Michelle loves her new car, right?
She loves it. Yeah,
that's great.
She likes the. I mean, she loves the presence of the Raptor. But the just the comfort and
a little more laid back.
Yeah. But I didn't realize that sucker you can put 87 octane in. It's going to save me a lot of money.
There you go.
I never haven't had
a
car with
it's a V6.
Yeah, I haven't had an 87 octane in a long time. It's getting like 18.5 miles a gallon, something like that.
Hey Matt, how about a Leader Max pre-order for Hex members?
Talk to this Matt.
We're working on it.
Yeah, so Leader Max.
We got to get them on the store. It'll be on the store after Black Friday. So
correct. Yeah. So we're expecting that. Maybe the 635. I don't know what the 635 is going to look like.
Yeah, we don't know that yet.
And we're looking at MSS launching in December.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a lot of cool new stuff in December that we wouldn't normally do. It just lines up that way because of supply and being able to get it. So
normally we have a pretty sucky December, but I don't have a good one this year. It's gonna be great.
I mean, let's talk about we got MSS in the back.
Yep,
you've been playing with it all week, so
it's so good.
What do you think?
It's so great. It's just forget touch, feel, use. Just stand 8 feet back and look at it, and it just looks.
The pictures don't do it justice.
Special.
It pops. It really pops back there, especially in the right lighting and the floor.
It's like one of those things, you guys know this when you have a car that you love and you like do a turn around and look at it. Yeah, like pretend you're locking it again or something like that. It's one of those.
Yeah,
where you're gonna be like I do this often when I organize a drawer and I'll just come back in there and look at it again. It's that good, I think. And it's like picture perfect match, like with the slate gray, tile.
Yeah, they're a little different tones, so they're not the same tone, but they're the same color tone, so they look good together.
It's it's not a match. Yeah, it's a complement. Yeah. They just work so well together. It's like the total culmination of the Obsessed Garage look and feel. Kind of puts it all together.
Yeah. And so they're a little more compact than MSS Plus. So if you have a smaller garage, they fit a lot better.
It's just shy of 20 inches deep.
Right.
Total. All in, like if you push it up against the wall.
And the nice thing is, I mean, I didn't realize this. I guess this was with the old MSS as well, but the pantry cabinets go all the way back to the wall, so they're deeper.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas the counter has the back panels and everything. So in the pantries or the tall cabinets, you get even more space to the back. I mean, inch and a half.
Super easy to install. I mean, you're talking about just any not even a DIYer, just anybody can put them together.
Yeah.
Super simple. I mean, if you suck at everything, you suck at using a screwdriver. I mean, 3-4 hours to put together an array at the most, but generally 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, Mike and I put together an array in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. Looks good. And, again, the way we're doing this to start is we have 8 different pre-configurations.
Yep.
And then as mid next year, we're going to start to, build stock of, other potential, where you can do custom and stuff like that. You can do custom. It just takes 3 or 4 months to get.
Yeah.
They don't want to end up with a bunch of stock.
We're also doing flat rate shipping. So we'll be able to tell you the price of the cabinet with shipping.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So there's not a lot of guesswork.
And the base entry-level cabinet array, which is, what is it like? It was 98 inches or something like that, is $5,400.
Right. And the biggest one, which is 270?
Yeah, it was 24 feet roughly.
Yeah, and it's 16 grand. And you have plus shipping on that. So,
but 16, that same array in ProSlat was 21.
Right.
Plus shipping.
Plus shipping.
in MSS Plus is 29 grand
Yeah.
plus shipping.
Right.
In Rousseau, it was 31 grand.
Yeah, there's some really, really compelling solutions at around 10 grand, 10, 11 grand plus shipping. So
Yep. It's and shipping somewhere between $800 and $2,400 or
Yeah.
something like that,
yeah,
depending on your.
yeah, $1,000 to $2,000 depending on how many.
Yeah, the
modules.
big 24-foot array would come on like a dozen pallets. You
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
10 pallets or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool. And then maybe we ought to talk a little bit about the tools. So we went through the tool plan,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we basically have 8 large foams and 8 medium foams that go together and make the tool set for that, right?
Correct. And so I've got to send you the spreadsheet of the plier drawer,
Right.
2 drawers.
Yep.
And then I've got to finish up the utility drawer and what's going to go in that. And then after we get all that done throughout the year, we're going to sort of roll out each drawer and kind of promote it and try to convince you to buy it and come up with some deals and stuff like that for it.
Yep. Yeah, so you almost, you can get a loaded set of cabinets for maybe what you're paying for MSS Plus, right? So that's the big difference.
Yep.
Which is really cool. Let's see here. What do we got? Hey, Matt, how about oh, no, we did that one. My bad. Matt, speaking of wheel coating, I have a new set of wheels coming. Coat before or after tire mounting?
After.
Yeah.
1, you're going to have to clean them up, and then 2, you don't want your wheel weights to fall off.
And they'll muck it all up. Let's see here. Blue Streak Brian. Built hammer turned my black roof rails on my Cayenne a rainbow color. Any suggestions to get it out? This was at 2% and only sat on it for a few minutes, not in the sun.
Yeah, some blacks, some plastics, you can't do 2%. You can do. I mean, Pete recommends using it at darn 0.5%. And the only way to find that out, did that to my M3 too. The only way to find out, some of that like shadow line trim is so darn sensitive.
Yeah.
And so on that, like on the Tesla, it turned into kind of rainbowy color at 2%. And so at Tesla, what I did is I cleaned it. What did I do? I cleaned it up with.
Did you use like tar?
I used WD-40
Tar-X or something. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So first I cleaned it with eraser, and then I followed with a WD-40, and then I refollowed with eraser, and then I coated it. On that, if it's shiny trim, you probably need to polish it.
That's right.
And then I would go down to try 1%, and then really set your timer, and make sure you're not more than 5 minutes, because it's high alkalinity, and there's certain things that just can't handle it.
Yeah, and if it's something like anodized or whatever, like I would avoid using it. I mean, that's anodized stuff can really stain.
Yeah, I mean it's really, really good, but there's a lot of things that with any detailing chemical that you can get wrong if the conditions aren't exactly correct.
Let's see here. We have a health question. No Slow says, Matt, have you noticed any additional health improvement eating a mostly carnivore diet other than just weight loss? I've been able to clear brain fog and increase energy levels on carnivore.
Oh yeah, there's a million and one things. I mean, you maintain stable energy throughout the day. I feel like I need to sleep like a half an hour less every day.
Okay.
Inflammation, reduction of inflammation. My skin clears up. I kind of, when I came back from SEMA, I was sick and I kind of ate like crap a little for 3 or 4 days. And like my skin like gets, the skin isn't clear. And like, for me, the main benefit is the natural, tendency toward that adrenaline panic. The best I can explain this, let's say you and I are having a conversation.
Yeah.
And I end up in like a disreality often, and like right now, because I'm in ketosis, I'm heavily fasted right now. I burned like 1,400 calories this morning. I cold plunged, I sauned, so I suffered this morning.
Yep.
And so when I start to go to that sort of weird disreality, when I'm in ketosis and on carnivore, it doesn't go beyond that. Like I don't go to the fighting off panic. I can recognize it and realize I'm still here. I'm still good. I had that the other day, yesterday, when I was talking to the Magic Stairs guys, and I normally would have gone to that sort of this internal panic
Yeah.
And I hide it. No one really can tell what's going on, but I have a moment where I feel like I need to run away.
Yeah.
And because I'm in ketosis, I don't get the panic.
Right.
Now in the car overcomes everything. And so I go to that sort of that disreality, this weird like out of body reality. And so when I broke ketosis on the last day of SEMA, then at the airport, I was having a rough time in the TSA line because I feel like part of it's probably placebo, and I know I'm out of ketosis,
Right.
and then part of it is just a physical chemical reaction that when I start checking myself out and I go to that panic, if I don't have the adrenaline response, then I can kind of rein it
you
back
stay
in.
calm. Basically
Yeah,
stay calm.
and so that's the biggest benefit to me of staying in ketosis. But you would think that I have such strong fear of that feeling, you would think that I would drop the potato chips, but that the potato chips have a stronger pull. you know that hunger.
What potato is salt and vinegar?
Just anything. Oh, so what I did this weekend, I didn't have anything I wanted.
Right.
What did I eat?
It was
I
just
ate
crap that was in the
just
house.
whatever I could find. I was eating peanut M&Ms, which I don't even really like,
Right.
and sour Patch, because Kate doesn't like any good candy. I never ate all the Twix and all the good stuff already.
Oh, that's right. You have Halloween candy.
Yeah. So I was pounding Halloween candy, and I was pounding Annie's bunnies, the little packs,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then and I ran out of all that stuff, which
So
I
you went
kind of
out-
like.
You
And
should have just gone over provisions and got whatever you
I
wanted.
should have, yeah, but it was too late, And then I start to freak out. I'm like, well, I can't get the provisions because I'm now out of ketosis.
Right.
It's so stupid, So.
It's like 500 yards from your house.
Yeah,
It's not
well,
very far.
it's like I don't want to walk there. I mean, so yeah, shoot. This is the struggle that I go through every day, people. It's a freaking disaster. Normal people just live, and I can't do it.
Okay. Well,
You take the good with the bad,
next question. How can YouTubers like Pan, etc., say, wow, this is the slickest in reference to their own product and then review others and say the same thing? These affiliates are killing me, honestly.
Well, I think he believes it. He truly does. I mean, he was hammering me. He's like, Matt, I'm telling you got to try this. And I respect that.
Right.
I think you guys beat people up a little bit too much. You read into a little bit too much. I mean, yes. I mean, when you decide to do your own, like if I make my own soap, I'm going to lose something from that.
Yeah.
Right? Even if it's the greatest soap in the world. One could argue, well, you didn't test every soap. You just told me you know. You didn't test every soap. Well, how do you know that Labo Cosmetica doesn't make the best soap, or 3D Pink
McGuire's
Power?
Gold Class.
Right. How do you not know? And so, ultimately, what I think people are doing is they have a judgment, assessment, or opinion around it. Now, I don't believe that Pan has found the best stuff in the world, but I don't think any less of it.
Right.
I just to be honest, when I told him this, I just don't care. Right? I don't care one way or the other. I'm happy for his success.
Right.
But it was in fact the other day he's like, "Well, aren't you happy for me?" I said, "I'm not. I'm not happy. I'm not sad. It just doesn't occur to me.
Right.
This is a very selfish endeavor. This I think is part of the requisite for being in the position I am, and as an entrepreneur. You and I were talking about this in the car the other day. It's like I just don't. I'm not thinking about.
You have very low empathy level,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and I have a lot more empathy than I once did.
True, yeah.
I was from like negative.
I think
to-
you save your empathy for,
to a 2
for
out of 10.
important situations. Let me say it that way.
I think I have a lot more understanding than I did,
Yeah.
as a younger man. But somebody that decides to make their own product line, that there's a belief, one, that you can find better stuff,
Yeah.
and then two, maybe you don't care if it's the best. You're just trying to solve a problem for people. And so what Pan is attempting to do is to come up with a line of products that are great and can work for everybody. And they're cost effective.
Yeah.
And so he has a methodology, an ethos, something he wrote on the wall, because every single company, every single product is a compromise. Now just because I have a different compromise level of standard, and Pan might argue, well, maybe you may beg to differ on that, but
Yeah.
again, to me, it doesn't matter.
I think things. I mean, I think the word best is sort of loaded, right? I mean, because what might be best to you may not be may not be best to him.
Yeah.
Based upon your preferences, right?
Yeah, and I throw that word out a lot. It's, I'm best in the world.
Right.
I mean, part of that's marketing. Part of it is I believe it.
Right.
I believe it. I'm standing behind it.
But
And it's the best I know of.
To me, it's a taste thing. So, you could say, I think Mexican food is better than Chinese food, and that's a taste thing, right? I mean, that's an opinion. And I think chemicals, there's some science to chemicals and how they work, but there's also a lot of taste and preference to how they work.
Correct. And so what people that are watching this are expecting of me is to share that taste because they don't want to figure it out.
That's right.
And the same thing, with any detailing line or any product line, and one would argue like I like to have a curated line to find the what I believe to be the best performer in category, or a lot of people would say I'm not interested. I'm just going to go to Meguiar's and get all Meguiar's and just use all their stuff.
Or they may say I just want all the bottles to match because I prefer a matching system or the color, color coding or something like that. I mean,
So I don't think
choices.
I don't think there's a need to have a judgment, assessment, or an opinion. And that was the same conversation I had with Pan. I said, look, I just don't care.
Right.
Like, this is very selfish of me. I don't care if you succeed or you lose, you fail. It doesn't matter to me. Now, he's my friend, and it'd be cool if he did well. But like, it just doesn't occur to me. Like, I don't think that way.
Right.
So it's better way to phrase it. It's not that I don't care. It just doesn't. It just doesn't exist.
Right.
Like, I don't consider it. I don't even consider my own success or failure. I just consider, can I play in the garage and put press-all labels on today, or can I not?
Right.
That's all that I can muster up. It's not, is press-all going to be a wild success? That's just a result of me playing with press-all in the garage, And that's, I'm recognizing that's a very different way of living. And part of it is I'm not measuring. I don't have a measuring stick against others.
Yeah.
Michelle says I'm not very competitive. I says I just don't. It doesn't occur to me. Like when I was playing volleyball, whether we won or lost didn't matter. It's how did I improve something?
You're
Hammer the ball?
internally competitive.
Oh, for sure.
You compete with yourself all day long.
Correct.
That's where you go. Yeah.
And it's nice to show off, and show the winning, and go hit the ball really hard. But I'm measuring my performance by, did I improve how hard I can hit the ball? Did I hit someone in the face? Was that fun? Versus, and I want to win. It'd be nice to win. It's better to win than to lose, because chances are if you lost, you didn't hit the ball very well. And that's just, I know it's a different way of thinking, and a lot of people are thinking of, well, what's Pan's angle here? Is he trying to screw? He's not trying to screw anybody. He's just trying to make a detailing line. And it doesn't appeal to me. I'm not really interested. His process doesn't resonate with me.
Right.
And that's it. So that's why, I'm less likely to. And then, we talked about this earlier. If there's a certain branding and process and knowing what I know, and then having that 30 years of trial and error that adds up to some sort of ridiculous equation that I can't explain to you.
Right.
And many people that are here, the 200 people that are watching this live, they probably don't get it, but they appreciate it in some form or fashion.
Yeah. So maybe let's talk about, because I don't think we've had the podcast since we launched the anthracite bottle. You maybe did one by yourself.
I don't think so.
No, I know,
because I got them when I was doing.
Yeah,
it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I think it's worthwhile to explain maybe a little bit more. And it's been a couple weeks, and we've used them, experienced them a little bit more, and kind of explain what's going on with those.
So black bottles are the same 750s and 500s. They are fluorinated.
Yeah.
They have a fill line down the back of it, kind of like an oil jug would, you know. Like
Yeah, the transparent
Yep,
area
yep,
on the
yep.
bottle.
So you can see the fill line because they are, you know, almost black. They have the same, you know, new industrial spray head with the, you know, metal tip and the stainless tip. And
Right.
they came in, and they come in bags. The way that they ship, because the original purchase, when we were buying the original Presso bottles, they were boxed, 6 in a box.
Yeah.
And yet they had to box all that, and so there was like $1.50
There was a
per
ton
bottle.
There was a ton of air in the container.
Yeah, and so we had $1.50 between the box, the time, the extra container cost,
Right.
and so we said, well, why don't we just stack them nicely? And so they're 200 in a bag or something like that. 150.
There's
in a bag?
120 750s and 151 500.
And it's like industrial tall,
Yeah, it's a
you know,
bag.
tied bag.
There's basically 6 bags on a pallet.
And they're put in there pretty tightly,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure that they're kind of dropping it in the bag, right?
Yep.
And so there's some rubbing, there's some touching,
They rattle around.
and then the
for
bags are, you know, put on a giant, you know, giant Gaylord, and then thrown in the darn in the so we can stack. What do we do at 25,000, 30,000 bottles in a 40-foot container?
Yep.
And so that saved us like $1.50, which would have been $3 to you per, you know, retail per bottle, something crazy like
Right.
that between all this cost. And so the way that these bottles are made, they make them in Czech Republic through, you know, it's a blow mold, and then they do like a heat seal to it to make sure they seal, you know, sort of seal the outside seam to make sure
Yep.
that they seal up nicely. And then they send them off to a different facility to get fluorinated with fluorine gas. I'm assuming it's like, I picture like a big like kiln, like a big room that they
Yeah.
usher them in there, and they probably have to hang them on hooks individually.
chamber of some kind.
Yeah, it's extremely expensive, extremely time consuming. They can't just throw the bag in there, and so they send them, and they're doing, you know, thousands and thousands at a time, and then they come back. And of course, we learned on the translucent bottles is the fluorination is magical to have because it creates a surface that allows your labels to stick better,
Yep.
and also creates a surface where the product doesn't permeate through it. The disadvantage is that fluorination adds a chemical to the bottle and can turn the color. And so we send the black ones there. Now the black ones are just like a black car.
Yes.
Now this never really
That's
occurred to me
that's exactly
when we were
right.
ordering them.
Yep.
And so I came in here right out on the end of this hallway about 3 weeks ago, you know, and I walked in and I said, "Oh, the black bottles are here." And I opened one up, and I was touring around a guy I was interviewing for the controller position, so I wasn't like fully engaged.
Yep.
But my immediate reaction was like, "Oh man, these are terrible."
Right.
And I threw it back in the bag. I said, "I'll deal with it later." And so then that was like on Thursday or Wednesday or something like that. Then on Thursday, my dad, I said, "Bring me a dozen bottles down." I was on camera, and I did what all good obsessed people do. When you get something new,
Yeah.
you scrutinize it like a
Yeah.
miser, right? You open up a box and you're starting, you know, we get your new iPhone and you're
Yeah.
judging it. You're looking at things you're never going to look at ever again
Right.
that really don't matter, but it matters to you at the time. I just spent, imagine this, you spent $20, $22 on a bottle. I spent $380,000 or something insane, you know, in this container of stuff, right? And so now I'm thinking of the financial implications. I assume that I had
Well,
25,000
that's
black
what you're
bottles.
thinking, and then I'm like, we got $15,000 worth of bottles.
Right. But
so
still,
it's not the end of the world.
$15,000
It's a lot of money.
versus 20.
Right.
And we all would do this with 20, right? You spent $20, you get the bottle, Matt says they're good, and now you're scrutinizing and you're saying, this guy's an idiot. These are terrible
Right.
at first glance because you can see some of the fluorination splotchiness.
Yeah.
They're anthracite because the fluorination makes them slightly less black. So they're like a dark gray. And then from them being in the bags, there's a little rubber ooze on them,
There's
right?
some scuffing. Yeah.
Which you can't, all of that is on the translucents, but you can't
Yeah.
see it because it's freaking lucent. And so now you have black. It's like a black car where every speck of dust you can see. And so I lose my crap, and I left it in. By the way, this happens like 95% of every product that we've ever launched. So I
Yes.
wanted you to see
Yeah. You got
how this
real
goes.
You got the
Every
real
hat.
time.
I'm like, this freaking hat sucks. Look, there's a little bit of, You know, you're just looking at every detail, and then I have to come back to reality.
Yeah.
And you guys got to see it if you watch that video. I think it's the decon video. That turned out to be like an hour and a half long of the you know, doing the armored decon process on the Sequoia.
Yep.
And so I said, all right, so I lived with them for a little while, and I said, you know, I called you back. I said, no, maybe it's not that bad, but I want to make sure people know what they're getting into, because I don't want to. I've taken 27 reputation hits by design on developing these press-out bottles. I don't want to take another one. And so put it in frickin' red letters at the top of the thing that say, don't buy these if you're a douchebag. And don't buy these if you're going to do the miser thing. You're going to flip out. You're still going to flip out, but keep the flip out to yourself, and then come back tomorrow and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Or just don't buy them if you know you're not going to be able to overcome the flip out. And so you could do the same thing with Swiss Tracks. You open up every tile, and you'd be looking at every tile, and you would do that if you've been waiting your whole life and you spent $3,800 and you bought the tile, and you saw some of them had like a little whatever,
nick or
little
indentation,
which we all know doesn't matter.
right?
But you know, you get a new car, and you know that there's a little pock mark on there, and you get it, and it matters to you then, and then 3 weeks later, you're like, it's
You
just
get over it.
right. And so I set up the black bottles today.
Yeah.
I want everybody to know what you're getting. Don't freaking complain.
We priced them a little lower, right? We took some margin out of it, so they're discounted.
Right.
There's pictures, you know, we are transparent about what they are.
Yep.
And the minute you put a label on them, it all kind of goes away. But that's, you know,
Yeah.
you can still see a little bit if you really want to do that. But
And
I
so
mean,
when
to
you're
me,
using,
the minute you throw it around in your cart or on the way, you're
Well,
going to have all the
certainly.
same scratching.
certainly you're going to have, but these are $22, $23 a piece.
Absolutely.
It's insanity already, and people are expecting perfection. Here's the problem: perfection is $58.
Right.
I'm trying to get them to be $12. Is what I'm hoping to get to someday.
Yeah. So we have to work with Press-All to figure out how to get them here without the scratch or the scuff.
Right. And that's the story.
Yeah.
And middle fingers are up. They're just in my pockets of this is how it goes. And this is, I care more than you do. Yeah. Take the $22 level of care, multiply it by whatever, 1,000, a literal 1,000, and that's how much more I care.
The good news is, good news or bad, however you want to look at it. I mean, the sprayer is where most of the cost is.
Right.
That's where most of the investment is. That's the differentiator. The bottle looks great.
Well, and that's why we can't discount the bottle. You know,
right, yeah.
The bottle is like $5 of the cost of the $20 thing.
Right.
So we can discount it like $1, and we've given up 3/4 of our margin.
Yeah, almost all of our margin. Right. So, yeah, so they are there. There are pictures. We've sold probably about 600 of them. So there's people that are using them, and I haven't seen much.
Wait till you see the video on the YouTube on the Obsessed Garage channel. Right. It looks frickin'.
Yeah, with the bottles on the shelf, right?
It's a 3-footer.
Yeah.
Stand 3 feet back.
Mm-hmm.
Squint a little bit. Don't wear your contacts. It's great.
Just don't complain about it, because we were very transparent.
Yeah. Don't buy them
if
that's
the clear ones
important
if you're
to you.
Be offended.
I thought it was important to me, and I'm learning it's not.
All right, Matt, where did the debate with Bradley settle on polishing headlights?
Yeah, he's wrong. 100%.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
It's no debate.
There's no debate. Yeah.
Let's see. Moving on. What size nozzle will we need for a dual AR635? 16.5. Joking, of course. Excited for the new Sonic MSS. Waiting for the 2-door one so I can have a sink in the setup.
Yeah, I think if you did duals, you probably would need an 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
A 10, 10.0.
Yeah, you're looking for a new...
We're going to need a new
nozzle,
orifice for the foam cannon.
Mm-hmm.
I need at least a 1.8.
Right.
So I told Bryce to try to figure that out on Alibaba. Or we need a... Mike and I are going to drill a couple out. Just get a precision bit and drill it out. Because the 1.5, it knocks, it overamps. It runs up to like 22, 23 amps.
Right.
And the electric motor doesn't like that.
Yeah. And then there is an MSS sink cabinet that we could probably custom order. But again, MSS is all about the pre-configurations. Those are much less expensive than if you order, If you ordered all the pieces individually, it's going to
If
cost
we
a lot
have
more.
some of the success we think we're going to have, then we're going to have different colors. We're going to have different cabinets. We're going to have a bunch of different stuff to add on.
Yeah.
We'll obviously bring over all the stuff.
Yeah,
in
in fact,
future.
Colby and I talked about colors. Like, we can do drops, right? We can do some, some things like that bring in some differentiation.
Especially if we do pre-configurations on colors, because the
Correct.
issue with inventorying cabinets
Yeah.
is that let's say you order enough to build 25 corner arrays and no one and only 10 people buy corners, then you end up with all these corners you can't do anything with.
That's right. We got 3 corners out there that we couldn't sell
Right.
from the last set. So,
Or wire pipes or whatever, you end up with a bunch of extra stuff that can't do.
I think the benefit of that is because as long as we keep the frame and the wire pipes and everything black, then doing the colors on just the doors and the panels is really pretty easy. So, let's see.
But we're not close to that. So, we're
That's a ways
at
out.
least
That's a
9
ways out.
months out.
Yeah, that's a ways out.
Probably a year out.
Wrath says, are you seeing the benefits of splitting up the main channel? I get why you're doing it, but it sure feels like I'm missing your content now and I'm missing project updates. Feels less connected.
Oh, and for me, it's working great. I'm loving it. The Matt Mormon channel is doing great. So Matt Mormon channel is doing what the Obsessed Garage channel always did.
Yeah.
8 to
So
20,000 people.
So Mike
see
and
it.
I were actually looking at the data, I think either today or yesterday, and the OG channel's pretty flat in terms of views and stuff like that. And then the Matt Mormon channel is incremental. So from our perspective, I think from a view perspective, it's gone up. We also have on the OG channel, because the videos are a little more higher quality, they seem to have a longer tail. So like your channel is a little more current, like what's going on now.
Yep.
And so you get the views and then the views tail off really fast, which is expected. But on the OG channel, we're getting a lot more long tail views, which is very beneficial.
Yeah, and then if we continue to head down this path, the OG channel might has a chance to go viral. A chance to get bigger.
Yep.
And we stay focused on the garage. So there's some disadvantages to separating it out. I get that, but it also gives me the ability, I can make a lot more stuff and just make a video whenever I want and not have to think about the stupid views and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And what we found is that people know what to expect.
Right.
And so YouTube knows what to expect. And so it will push your content where it needs to go. So just subscribe to both, and then you'll turn the notifications on like all the douchebags say. And people still say that. Why do they say that? Make sure
Like
you
and
like
subscribe?
and subscribe, and turn the bell on. Like, stop saying that. I don't think I've ever said that. It's stupid.
Did I see a MaxFlow pressure washer have a 4.5 GPM rating on your video?
Yeah, but that's a 240 volt, 30 amp.
Yeah, it's
Commercial.
a commercial machine.
Yeah, so
There
you can
is-
do, we're
I
able to
mean,
do it.
The
And we're-
MaxFlow product, right, because of that linear induction motor, has the ability to be very interesting, right?
Yeah, for sure. And not to say we won't do that at some point, but I told them, I said, you're going to sell like 5 of those a month.
Right.
If you have a 220 volt version, then you'll sell, 5,000 a month, a quarter. And so I said, yeah, we'd all love to have this 4.5 gallon per minute. You can make a 4.5 gallon per minute pressure washer, no problem. It can cost you about $3,000 or $4,000. You do a cat pump or a general pump head and a cat electric motor, and you put it together, and you're $3,800. You can build that. But it's going to be loud. It's going to be ugly, and it's going to be $7,000 or $8,000 if you want to make it pretty. You start fabricating, modifying stuff. I went down that path early on. I'm like, well, we're going to go to cat and we're going to make our own thing. And it was going to be like $3,800 my cost.
Right.
And then I'm going to have to sell it for 5Gs, and we're going to sell 6 of them. So I'm not to say that we can't make it, but then you got to run a number 8 wire, which most people can't fit, and then you're gonna have to take up 3 spots in your panel box.
Right.
And yes, some people will do it, but most people aren't.
Yeah, you have to build the house around the pressure washer.
Kind of, yeah. And again, I can convince people to do that, but that's not very many.
Yeah. Let's see here. Carton have a distributor in a company called X-Foamer. So Carton was the battery sprayers, I think is what he's referring to. Right? Is that Carton?
Correct.
The Korean stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. Is X-Foamer International
Yeah,
or
I don't
whatever?
know.
And maybe he has somebody doing it here in the U.S., but
we got a meeting with him next week.
yeah, we had to get a translator, and he doesn't speak English. And
Hi, Matt. Ellie A4500, best mid-price 15-inch cordless polisher, question mark.
Yep.
Played with it at SEMA.
yep, no question.
Yeah. And we have a bunch of those ready for Black Friday. That's going to be one of our
good.
feature items is the A4500 with the battery kit.
Oh, okay, cool.
So those are all in stock. We've got a lot to ship. So if you want one of those.
It's still, I mean, until something else better comes out, it's the best we got.
Yep.
It's decent.
Yep. Have you tried the Ego vacuum?
Oh, it's
Any good?
terrible.
Ooh.
It's the worst vacuum I think I've ever used.
Wow.
We had it here, and we're like, this is terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Surprising.
Performance was awful. Like, they got the big giant battery in there. We're so surprised. The
Right.
Milwaukee's way better.
Yeah.
You know, I literally got it out. Like, get it out of here. It's just taking up space. It's the worst vacuum ever. And lots of people are using it because they just think it's good, but it's awful.
Right.
It's like no suction.
Interesting.
Yeah. In comparison to whatever whatever else has that's $600 or $500 less.
Right.
Yeah, don't do it. It's not good.
So question about what makes LeaderMax superior to Color Lock products we sold previously? Why switch if already have the full 3-stage
Well,
line?
Color Lock is defunct.
Right.
So that's
The first issue is availability. We just can't get Color Lock.
right.
For one.
So we don't know what's going on with
Right.
Color Lock was purchased
If-
by Coach Kemi, and we don't know what's
But
going
to
on.
play
there.
devil's advocate, if Color Lock was available, is LeaderMax is better, right?
Correct. So just to put it into perspective, the Color Lock guys are in the furniture repair background. So Lars is in the furniture repair, and so he's an expert in leather. And then the LeaderMax folks, I forget what the guy's name is. I should know this. Is in the leather tanning. So
Right.
the actual production of leather is his background. And so his argument is that leather obviously is very porous. Leather is very scratchable.
Yeah.
And that you should not use microfiber. You should not use a brush. You should only use cotton, and you should only use a specifically designed sponge. And then they both agree on pH matters, on cleaning and conditioning. And so LeaderMax, I've heard the stories of both, and I've used both products. I don't think that I get like a remarkably better result from LeaderMax. It's a little better, I think, but I feel
What's better? Well, I mean, is it more natural?
Yeah,
Does it have
I
a
get
better
it.
feel?
I feel like it cleans a little bit more effectively
Okay.
without the brushing. And I feel like I get like a madder, deeper, richer look at the end.
Okay.
Now, it also depends on the leather. Some leather doesn't really richen up. It just
Yeah.
depends. But like on my GD3, it was like, we're talking 7 or 8% better, not 70% better.
Right.
But it was noticeably better, looking. And the result of what I was getting at the end. And I felt like it cleaned, the cleaning stuff works better with less aggressiveness. And then if you buy into the delicateness of leather coming from the guy who makes the leather.
So basically, he doesn't want you scrubbing.
No. You can scrub a little with the sponge,
Yeah.
but the sponge is designed specifically for that. And he's doing stuff under a microscope to
Right.
look at what's happening to the leather. The guy, I tried to pitch him on, we need to make this in the U.S., and he said, even my wife doesn't know the formula of this stuff. He's very protective. I like
Isn't
that.
his name Lars? Is it Lars? Is that
No,
him?
Lars is the Color Lock
That's
guy.
Color Lock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm backward on that.
Lars is a great guy, super sharp, knows a lot about leather. I felt like this guy knows more. And this is me and my 30 years of crazy,
Right.
just giving you my snap judgment based on some sort of something. And if that's not worth anything to you, then I'm not your guy.
All right. Will Coach Kemi GFX be available on Black Friday? Yes, it will. We have
It was
new stock of that, and we're ready to go.
only in 1 liters, not 5
Correct.
liters.
Yeah. Small
4
bottles.
liters.
Did you see any modded sequoias at SEMA?
If I did, I didn't pay
You weren't
attention.
paying attention.
Yeah.
You did see the stock sequoia. I think I saw that on one of your, like a bluish gray color.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. At the Toyota booth, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't pay attention to cars at all. I remember noticing a couple of Raptor R's in one booth. I remember noticing a couple of GX, whatever, the GX 550
50s. Mm-hmm.
modified,
Right.
and that's about it.
Was there an overlanding section?
Oh
There's
yeah,
there's
I
an
didn't go
overlanding
through it.
section, right?
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
West. I didn't even go through it.
Mhm.
I should have.
Yeah, you should have.
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of cool little products on some of the off-road stuff.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah.
Ryan says, Matt, have you tried Built Hammer Quick Detailer? It's dilutable and pretty decent.
Yeah, I just don't need a quick detailer. I don't use it. It's a quick scratcher.
Yeah, I know Ryan was really excited about Touch On, the spray on
Yeah, he likes that,
coating
yeah.
stuff. So we'll probably bring some of that in 1 liters for our wholesale folks.
I
Right.
thought Touch On was only in the little.
Well, you can. We brought in the little one, the little packets that you put in
Yeah.
one bottle, but
Yeah.
you can get it in a 1 liter.
Okay.
So yeah. What are your thoughts on Superior products? Road Warrior and Dark Fury are awesome.
I don't know what that is. It sounds
Superior
janky to me.
is like to me, it's like what the car wash companies use.
Yeah.
It's kind of old school
Sounds
stuff.
janky to me.
Yeah,
I don't like any of that stuff. I'm certain there's some decent products inside of those,
probably.
like Pro. Pro
Yeah.
is one company, and there's a freaking billion of them that are selling bulk
Right.
chemicals. But yeah, it doesn't appeal to me at all.
Here we go. Someone trying to start a rant. Matt,
Okay.
when are you testing Pan's 8-year? I'm dying to know if the hype is BS from YouTube affiliates.
He's after me.
8-year? Is it 8-year coating?
Certainly doesn't last 8 years.
Like what are the what
coating
are the,
companies? They all and
what's-
the Nazy all guys are. This is a 10-year coating. Yes, it may chemically.
What's the fine print on that?
It's nonsense. Your coatings are good for a couple of years. In a daily driver, a year and a half, you're polishing it off and starting over. Especially if you're not washing it like once a week or once every other week.
Right.
You might be able to keep a coating going. Well, why would you want to? It's going to get contaminated. And then as soon as you try to decontaminate, you're scratching it up. You're going to want to pull it off. So like Armor Pro, 5-year bull crap, whatever, there's not a chance in the world it's going to make it 5 years on the Sequoia. I'm going to do it in 24 months and redo it.
Right.
On my GT3 RS, it might make it 4 years because... so the year rating is all nonsense. That's what I was yelling at him about. Why are you calling it 8 years? That's nonsense.
Right.
I said, well, that's what everybody else does. I said, I don't understand
Sounds
that.
like a marketing spec.
But I want to do the opposite of what everybody else does.
Mhm.
But if you're playing in that game, which I don't play that game, I play the Matt Mormon game, the Matt
Right.
Mormon life game, not the, the other people don't occur to me, for better or for worse.
Right.
But yeah, 8 years is nonsense. Complete nonsense.
All right. A couple of good questions here. Matt, why do you like the Steelers? I'll pause on that.
I was born in southern Butler County, right in Allegheny County, Butler County border, just north of Pittsburgh, and so you were
born into it.
There's no way out of
It
it.
was born into it.
My aunt was an accountant for the Pirates.
Yeah.
And so I was a Jay Bell, Andy Van Slyke, Don Slott fan. And I had their like 6-foot pictures in my bedroom. So when you drove up to the trailer, my parents, when I was like, I think maybe like 10, they got an addition to the trailer. They kind of bolted onto the side door, the back door of the trailer, and bolted on an addition.
Right.
And it was like a 1.5 trailer. And so my room was there, and so when we drove up to the house, it was like an L shape, right? So
Sure, yeah.
so my room was here, and on my wall, it was all was it masonite paneling,
Yeah.
right? That fake wood paneling,
Right.
and so on my wall, I had the 6-foot posters, or the full height posters of Jay Bell, Andy Van Slyke, and I forget who else, and so it always looked like there was some man
There's
like
people in there.
in the room, yeah. And so, but I got all that stuff. So, every game they give you like a mitt or, you get
Right.
something with your ticket. And so my aunt got all of that stuff.
all the
and I had
tchotchke
all the
giveaways.
tchotchke stuff, yeah, that I thought was going to be worth $1 million
Of
someday,
course, yeah.
And so, the Steelers, if you're in Pittsburgh, you're a Steeler fan.
Right.
Shoot, half the country isn't in Pittsburgh and has nothing to do with Pittsburgh, and they're Steelers fans. Kind of like Dallas, San Francisco, Pittsburgh.
I think it's also generational, right? Like, when teams were good when you were a kid or whatever,
Right,
you adopt them.
Right, all the Dallas fans from the Troy Aikman,
a lot
Emmitt
of
Smith years.
bandwagoners, right?
And so Penguins, Pirates, Steelers, and then I was always a Sixers fan because we didn't have a basketball team, And then I spent 4 years in Philadelphia, 4.5 years in Philadelphia, and you kind of, so like if the Eagles are on, I'm going to watch the Eagles because all of my extended family, if you will, would be Eagles fans, and but hockey was really big in Pittsburgh, especially in the 90s when I was there. Jaromir Jagr and Mario Lemieux. And but hockey and baseball kind of left me. So I watch more basketball, football. I'd say college football is probably number one, my favorite to watch.
Yep.
And then
who's your favorite
probably
team?
the NBA.
Who's your favorite college team to watch? I mean,
I don't have one.
You just kind of watch the good games.
I watch, So
Okay.
I'm just a fan of college football.
Right.
I mean, I was sort of a Penn State fan growing up for a few years, but I'm just a fan of college football in general, and I think I like it better because I don't have a team.
Yeah.
I watch all the Gators games because Michelle and they're all diehard Gators fans, and I watch Penn State games when I can. They're freaking terrible. But I'm just a fan of the SEC, and I have my natural dislike for the West Coast teams. I don't know, Oregon and Cal and USC.
Those scummy West
I don't
Coast
really
teams.
have a dislike for them, but I would never like.
You didn't
I
grow
hope
up, like-
UCLA wins.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know?
like I grew up in SoCal, and
Right.
so the Pac-10 was a big deal, right?
Right,
So,
right. And so I have a natural affinity for the Big Ten because I'm a Yankee, and
makes sense.
but I just admire it and enjoy it. So you have college football number one, number two for me is probably NBA. Currently, it was when I was in college. Certainly, NCAA basketball would have been number one.
Right,
being a Villanova grad. So I think NCAA basketball with NIL, it's kind of ruined it. For whatever reason, I feel like it hasn't ruined football, but it's kind of ruined basketball.
That's fair.
You don't know any of the
Well,
players.
because the basketball is so much more condensed, right?
Right. In football, it's team. In basketball, there's 5 dudes and 2 of them matter.
Right. Yep.
And so in NCAA basketball,
And those two dudes know it.
oh, right. And they'd hop around, or they're not there very long. And so unless you have a Cooper flag coming through, it just doesn't. It's not as interesting to me. And then I'd say then probably the NFL fourth. NFL fans are weird to me.
Yeah.
It's like very loserish, like diehard, not NFL fans, but NFL like diehard people that wear Buffalo Bills stuff everywhere they go. It's like weird. Like I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, like super fan. Have you ever, a Tampa Bay football game is the worst game you'll ever go to. I loved it when I went to the Steelers game because they didn't have cheerleaders.
Right.
They didn't feel the need to do everything between timeouts. You just sit there like a grown up.
Right.
In Tampa, they've got some rah-rah bullcrap every millisecond of every square inch of the players,
So
firing off the
they're
cannons
filling time.
and swashbuckling and just stupid T-shirt cannons and because Michelle and I went there when Tom Brady's last year, and I'm like, this is terrible.
I didn't know the Steelers question was going to turn into a Matty rant. But that's good.
Yeah.
That's a
I
good
thought that
one.
was the rant. Yeah. But I was sitting in the booth with the Rooneys, and I was just loving. He's like, "Yeah, my dad, he or my uncle or whatever. He said, the cheerleaders came in the '70s and said they wanted more money. He said, fine, I'll give you your last paycheck, and they never came back. I'm like, I love that. That blue collar,
Right.
town, love it.
That's funny. So the second part of his question is also why an R34. I don't think that car is you. He's saying. Oh, don't worry, Matt will hate it once he has it.
Yeah, I probably will. I've been on the hunt. Like, what should I do?
You've been in a car mood.
Yeah, I kind of want to do something. I'll kind of get the bug back when I do my GT3 and kind of do the paint and all that stuff.
Yep.
I'm not driving cars, but I love the car. I love the whole thing, and I want to do some bigger project.
So I mean, obviously, there's a couple different Skylines to think about, right? So
Mhm.
why R34? And
I
then
think that's
why
the best
Skyline,
looking
and then
one.
why R34?
So I think the R34 looks great.
Mhm.
I was never a Skyline guy. In fact,
Okay.
I've said many times I kind of hate the idea
Right.
of that car.
Yeah.
I don't like big turbo, like that extreme. Like I like linear power. I don't
Right.
want that extreme, like bounce it off the rev limiter,
Mhm.
two step. Tires are melting off the car. Like this big turbo Supra stuff just never really interested me. So, but I've never experienced it. And so Supra, Skyline, I was Honda, right? So I've
Yeah.
experienced Honda.
Slow.
Yeah, slow front wheel drive, which sucks. And so you can make them fast, but it's still front wheel drive.
Right.
And they're not even all wheel drive. And so I've gone down the the all wheel drive Evo STI route a little bit, with
Yeah.
the Evo. And I'm going to finish the Evo, by the way. So
Oh, really?
I'm going to do the bumper and the wheels and just kind of finish it up. And I may keep it. I don't know. I have the room to keep it now.
Right.
So I may hang on to it. All the cars I have are not depreciating.
Right.
They may or may not appreciate. They very likely will, but I'm not going to lose money on it. And I'm like not in a position where I need the cash as much as I once did, and so it was always get a new car because I got to get out of the old car in order to reduce the risk. So I've been thinking about, well, do I do a Gen 1 NSX? Do I do a DC2? Do I do a Type R, like a 01, 2000 Type R? I kind of already did that with the Civic.
Yeah.
The NSX was never a car I was interested in.
It's a little too early for you, right?
There is no car that I was interested in that I haven't had,
Okay.
right? Civic,
Yeah.
which covers the Type R as well. BMW to death.
Yeah.
Porsche to death.
Yeah.
I haven't done an air-cooled Porsche.
You
but,
won't like that.
But it's not really something. I'll probably do one someday, but it's not really my
You
thing.
won't like that.
I want an air-cooled roof. I
Yeah,
want. I don't think I want to go. I want a Singer. I don't want a kind of
Yeah, you don't.
chop shopped. I don't want a classic car, and so but I want something that has lots of support, lots of chase. And so I started watching Tommy's videos.
You just want to buy
again.
some raised wheels or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah, I want the wheels. I want the intake. I want the exhaust. I want to chase the paint. I want to chase the parts. And there's no better parts bin car than an R34 or R32 G or 32, 33, 34 GTR.
Skyline, yeah.
There's no better car in America because the parts are hard to get. They're expensive. They're
You might have to
Japanese.
You might
which
have
I
to
think
take
is
a trip
cool.
to Japan.
I don't know. Yeah.
Wait, you got to go to church first. That's what we did. That's what Michelle said.
And so I've decided that I'm going to do an R34.
Yeah.
Not a 33, not a 32. Who knows? Maybe I'll head down that path to check the box, and I may hate it like a Corvette, like I think I'm going to.
Yeah.
But I've gotten excited about it. I'm watching Larry Chen, and I'm watching Tommy, and I'm watching TJ. I watched TJ Hunt's 4-hour video of his, on the TJ Hunt Clips channel. I called TJ.
Oh,
This is how you know. I talked to TJ for an hour. I talked to Adam for 45 minutes. I've talked to Tommy 57 times. I bought the intake already.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Now you
yeah.
got to find a car to go with it.
Right. And then Tommy gets all excited. Tommy Farrell, Tommy F. Yeah. Tommy and I are like magic on camera together, so it'll be a fun project you get to do with
So
him.
when you say paint, are you chasing a car that's done painted, like
No,
factory,
we're
or
gonna
you're
have
going
to, we're gonna have
one?
to paint it.
And what color are we painting this car?
I want Bayside blue.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get a Bayside blue car, and we're probably gonna need to fix the paint.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, because they don't come, the engine bays aren't painted. So what everybody does is you're going to take the engine out anyway. And so you take the engine out and you paint it. And so the best way to do it, I'm learning, is, was it Garage Yoshida? But he has like a 7-year waiting list where he paints it, like legit paints it. I don't think I'm going to go to that level unless I fall in love with the car. I'll try to get on that list. But I'm learning about all these, how to import, and it's like a whole new thing.
Yeah.
That gives me something to at 7 p.m.
Something to chase.
to sit on my couch. I'm probably the problem is now I know I'm probably going to dislike it. I'm probably going to hate it.
If you go in with that attitude, that's okay. Then you know,
Yeah, and
it's
and
not
that's
like
the,
meeting.
that's
It's
the
not like
key.
meeting your hero or something.
Right, that's the key. It was never a car of mine. I think they look great. I've always thought they look great. I'm just not a turbo guy, and so I'll do twins. I'll probably do an HKS crate motor. And then Tommy's like, well, HKS crate motors are going to stop making them, so we need to get them right now. I'm like, hold on. But he did get me on the intake. He said, TJ, we looked for a year, and I've got one down the street for sale.
Right.
That intake is an insane amount of money. So this car is going to cost about $350,000 to build. And I'll probably never get that back.
Yeah.
Or,
Hopefully you like it.
yeah,
it's
if
worth
I
it.
love it, then I'll build a $700,000 one. Then I'll build my,
Right.
the crazy one and have it, garage Yoshida. I'll find I'm learning all about because I knew virtually not. I knew R32, 33, 34, and I knew
Right.
roughly what time frame those were, but I didn't know the years. And so it's a whole new thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I don't live vicariously through other people's cars. It has to become mine. I had to buy a Corvette.
Yep.
I knew I didn't like them, but I had to check
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you
scratch that
didn't
check
even
that
like
box.
a GT3 RS, right? At 997. So I mean,
I like it, but not for $400,000.
Right.
And so the question is, am I going to like this at? You got to buy a
it's the
car
same,
at $200,000,
Same money.
and then in my feed shows up Doug DeMuro's top 8 cars that aren't going to be worth any money, and one of them's an R34 GTR because there's too many of them. And then when I go to this sort of bastardized, modified version that we're going to do, we're going to devalue it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to spend way more than it's ever going to be worth. And so the beauty I have is I do have the trump card, and then I could give away it, if I needed to,
Yeah.
or just experience it, bring in a whole new group of people. The vast majority of people, if you're thinking of it from a marketing and business perspective, the vast majority of people, that's like their car.
Right.
Of car guys, that's like the car that they want. I think it's kind of dumb. I'm not really all that excited about it, but I'm getting that attraction, that like excitement, that flutter, that, oh man, I'm going to spend how much?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of money. It's enough to make me feel that rush.
Well, you're ready for the chase. You
Yes.
like the chase.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Yep. And so the chase and the learning and the discovery and then the learning the different model numbers and what parts are cool and what parts are not. And then I like it when I have a resource as well, when I can leverage the resource that,
Guys that can help you.
that I admire and am interested in hanging around, and so I like that as well. That's the whole thing with detailing. I admired so many people in it, and I admired the products,
Right.
and then figured out how to wiggle my way into getting invited into it, and then work on becoming one at their level.
Right.
The pursuit of deciding I'm never going to go to Tommy Effia's level. He's his whole life is built around this car, but I'd like to sort of go there and learn about it and discover it, and then decide maybe I'll love it, maybe I won't. And that's the biggest difference the last several years. Like when I bought the Helen House, I'm going to have this for the rest of my life.
Right. Yeah, you never.
And I've had
Never said
existential crises over the last 3 years of owning it. Oh my gosh, what do I do with it?
First advice is you can never buy your forever home because it doesn't exist.
Yep.
And never say you're going to own this car for the rest of your life.
Right.
Just get over that. You
Yep.
might, but
And I'm
don't
over.
say
I'm
it.
100%
Just
over
don't
it.
say it.
And I feel so much better.
Right. All right, let's go. We got a couple more questions to knock out. You got.
Oh, I got a hard out at
hard
3:30.
out, right?
Yep.
Okay, Matt, are you planning on testing the Blue Sound Cinema soundbar?
Yes.
Okay.
It looks pretty promising.
Yeah, that would be good because then it would connect with all the other
Mm-hmm.
stuff, right? Let's see here. Next question. How difficult is it to launch a detailing product / brand in a convoluted market? What does a company / person need to do?
Well, I think it's stupid to do it unless you have some value prop, right? You got to have a value of any product. You got to have a value proposition.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to have a work ethic. You got to have a willingness to try and fail.
Yeah.
I think it would be helpful to have some chops. You actually know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But
Good marketing doesn't hurt. A
Right.
nice looking brand,
put
a
a
good
bunch of
looking
money
set of
behind it.
bottles, and
a bunch of money.
you got to invest in that.
A bunch of money. You can choose to, sort of take the
Mhm.
risk. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to have a value prop, and you've seen a lot of them come and go because most of them don't.
Right. Timing's important too.
Yeah.
How much louder is a 635 than a 630? Is it the same motor and just a different
I think it's
pump?
it might be a little quieter. I haven't put a SPL meter up to it, but I think it might be a little bit quieter. It seems as though the stroke is a little longer, so I think the RPM might be a little lower.
Oh, yeah.
But that's my guess, and we'll get all those specs. But it's negligibly quieter or louder.
Right. Yeah, it's not like what was it, the wall hung Krenzler that you had that was really loud? Wasn't
Oh
that really
yeah,
loud,
the
that one?
165
In the pole
STS or
barn?
the KWS. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are loud. The big 20 millimeter pumps. Yeah.
Once HQ is up and running, you should dial in OG staff cars using different product lines. This way you can give honest opinions, long-term reviews, and of course test products.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
I don't like that. That's a lot of work that I don't need to do because I already know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And I will do some of that, but I already know the answer. There's like 57 channels that do nothing but that.
Right.
And I'm not good at that. And I don't need to do that. And I don't want to do it. If I wanted to do it, then I would. But I didn't want to do the pressure washer testing, but I felt like I needed to do it.
Right.
Because there's no one else to do it. And now it's done, and so it doesn't need to be done. And now there's a bunch of people doing just that, which doesn't need to be done anymore. It's funny.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
yeah.
Matt, what do you think about the G87 M2? I'm between a
hideous.
G87 M2 and a 718 Cayman S.
Oh, Cayman S,
Yeah,
100%.
Porsche all the way.
Yep.
That's no brainer.
Yep. Yeah, the M2 is not as hideous as the M4. And I think you can make the M2 cool, but it's one of those cars just like a Skyline. It sucks stock. Looks
Yeah.
terrible, sucks. Honda Civic, terrible.
Right.
You have to like go deep.
Yep.
And so an M2, you've got to go deep, the new one, to like make it cool. I'd rather have the what is it? The not the S55 M2, but the
M1?
the S the M2 before they put the S series motor in it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that was.
Yeah.
What is it? The B55 or I'm forgetting the freaking model.
I don't know all the BMW codes. Is there any plan of a retail shop in the future?
Well, we were talking about that the other day.
It's a big one.
We're going to have 8,000 square feet on the second floor of the Middleton
Right.
showroom.
We got 12,000 total feet coming. So yes, we'll have. Retail
We
store.
probably won't sell anything out of it,
Right.
but we'll have it up there just because we can. It would look really cool. Yeah. So, we're building a retail garage showroom.
Right.
Which will have a retail element and then a design build element.
We also have a
installation.
lot more going on here at HQ. So we've got the showroom, we've got the conference room, we've got your studio in the back now. We just put closets in for a merch display, so there's now merchandise available.
So all our
for
merch
sale.
will be. And I was thinking about we should put the clear bags in some of the other shelves and have it for stock there where people can grab and purchase.
Yeah, we need a little POS terminal out there too.
Yeah. So yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. Does Obsessed Garage Design Services have a cost to them?
There's several different versions. There's you just need some help. You're buying it right then and there.
Yeah, you're configuring a cabinet or a floor.
And
We'll
you
just do it.
Just do it. There's a $1,000 deposit,
Yeah.
which applies to your purchase.
Right.
If it's like a medium deal, like a 2-car, 3-car garage. And
Design the full garage.
We're going to spend 2-3 hours with you, something like that.
You give us a floor plan. We help you lay everything out.
If we're doing full on, it's like 20 hours worth of work.
Right.
It's $2,500.
Right, with more technical drawings and
Correct.
placements.
Correct. And so you just meet with the guys and they'll kind of work with you together. And if this isn't like an option for you where you say, well, I want you to spend 7 meetings with me and not pay the $25.
It doesn't cost anything to have the initial discussion. So just sign up at Design.
And they're real cool about it.
Yeah,
And you say,
and
look, I
go through it with
I
you.
don't need like everything here.
Yeah.
I don't need these technical drawings. I'm not like working with a contractor. I just need you to design my cabinets.
Right.
And if they think it's going to take them 4 or 5 hours, and they're going to charge you $1,000 and apply toward your stuff, just so you don't screw us,
Right.
and go on this tour of the store, and then you don't do anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta wrap up here. I'm
So-
about to talk to Rytech.
Bradley says he's right.
He's wrong. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, wrong.
So for those of you who had questions, we'll get you next week. Sorry, we ran out of time, but a lot of good questions because we haven't done it for a couple weeks.
Yeah. So Rytech is back on, and we're gonna do Rytech down in Middleton and Rytech.
Back here?
hopefully.
Yeah.
I
All right.
may not be able to do it because the hole might be wrong.
Technically, right?
But then we could just put a new.
Just put another hole in.
I'll have Mike put another lentil in, and then block between the two lentils, and then we can probably do the door. So it just might require a little more effort.
It's fun finagling.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry to cut you short, but we did an hour and a half.
Yeah. No,
I'm gonna talk to Albert, and I'll talk to you about what's right up with RITEC next week. See you soon.
Yeah. Bye now.